out on Wednesday Comics socials. This will be on the Twitters and the Facebooks and all that. Um, actually, let's allow like a minute or so for this to cook, and we'll let it do its thing. Mark,
What's up?
Fill us in. What is your itinerary? Where you're at for Free Comic Book Day? Because out here, it's Rainbow Comics, right?
Yeah,
Out where you're at, you have like 800 shops. So like,
absolutely.
are you doing Carmen San Diegoing around the area, hitting the different shops? Do,
Absolutely.
do the shops do the book limit?
Some of them do. Some of them just let you have everything
Whatever.
that you want.
Right.
So yeah. So
Right. Right. That's amazing. All right.
yeah. But
Well,
yeah, I'll hit. I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I forgot. I have another shop that I go to. I didn't even mention. I used to have 5 shops. I think I'm down to 4 now.
okay.
So, yeah. So I'll hit all those.
Oh my God, Mark.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, that's the minute to win it, you guys. Mark definitely is winning in Tennessee. We're trying to get him to move to Sioux Falls. I'm going to keep working on it. But I suppose we should probably open up the show. So without further ado, the best drum roll a guy can get on a glass desk. Hey, everybody, it's a comic book look. It's your boy, John on Demand, a.k.a. Mighty Main Mufasa up in here. And it's a new Comic Book Wednesday, Comic Book 7. I'm knocking my camera over with my head banging, evidently. I'm so sorry about that. Joined by... I know, it's so metal. Joined by co-host extraordinaire Mark, a.k.a. Begging and Boarding Bad Boy, brother from another mother. What, great from another state? I don't know. We'll go with that. Yeah, that's cool. And special guest, you guys. We have... Wednesday Comics, the elusive trio. Alex is here representing the crew. Shout out to the pink lightning bolt t-shirt. I can't get that out of my mind. Every time I think Wednesday Comics, it's bam with that t-shirt. I love that shirt. You don't
I
like
think
that
Miami
shirt?
Vice is my number one.
What?
Yeah, I love our Miami Vice one.
Okay. You don't
I
like
mean, nothing against the Pink Lightning. I got it, but
Yeah.
I just
shout out to Pink Lightning.
Of course. Hello, everybody. By the way,
launched foam everywhere with that laugh. That was amazing. Anyways, Alex, thank you so much for joining us. And
thank you for having me.
Per tradition, we just like to learn about our guests, and it's been a while. And with that, just with new faces maybe that are meeting you this time around, can you give us your comic book origin story?
So fellow Wednesday comic creator and host of the show, Marvin, had lent me some comic books, and when I followed the movies, I loved the media, but I was not nerd enough to actually read the comics, and so Marvin had lent me some, saying, "Hey, I think you'd like this." I took about a year to even open a single book, and then I read it, and it was like blood in the water for sharks. I just couldn't get enough.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've spent more money than I should on comics that I may or may not read right away or for 2 years. And I almost want to go take you into the den that has all my stuff.
You should absolutely do that.
So if
this sounds like a great idea. Take us on a tour. Let's go. Hey, while you're doing that, Chop and Drops checking out this here on YouTube. Happy New Comic Book Day, and Happy New Comic Book Day to you. Thank you so much for the call outs there. Chop and Drop. Tom's not here tonight, but he's enjoying beautiful weather, and so kudos to him, and it is lovely here. All right, we are in the den of greatness.
We got turtles.
Yes,
vintage
we do.
Turtles.
Whoa.
Go back up a little bit. That is if you can kind of see, hang on, comics.
Yeah. Okay.
With the current stuff that has not been read.
Okay.
The other list of stuff that hasn't been read.
Yeah.
And then Marvel Legends.
What? Okay.
Books. I mean, you want to have it.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, that's quite the layout there. Shelves like that, it always makes me think that we're in like an evidence locker at like a police station or something epic. Like I'm expecting like a box labeled shield, with artifacts in there, like the Tesseract, just chilling. I don't know. That's what those shelves make me think. So I feel like Alex, you live a double life.
I want your listeners to come back and see more because I have more to share.
Oh.
But I want them to feel that mystery, that intense want of more.
All right. Mystery it is, and mystery you got it. So we learned a little bit about your about your comic book origin. How are things at Wednesday Comics? Because you guys are rocking and rolling and crushing it. I sincerely miss you guys. I get to see Garrett once in a while. I never see Marvin. So what's the skinny? What's the exclusive you got for me here?
To be fair, no one sees Marvin. That is, I mean, he lives the life of solidarity.
Yes.
Garrett's good. I'm good. The show's doing really well. We've gotten away a little bit from always talking comics. We do talk about the movies. We talk about the games. We've gotten into even just sometimes talking more games than comics, which is fine.
Okay.
I mean, we're kind of that whole media of I'm going to call it nerdity.
Sure.
Everything you may like, we want to talk about, or things that we like, we want to talk about, and it's things that we would do even if we didn't do the show. And that's actually how it kind of started, was that we would talk about comics, especially New 52 when it was first coming out, theorizing what was going to come up. And I mean, we still do that. We still talk about what we think the movies are going to be, whether the MCU is ever going to get out of this weird funk that we're in.
Sure.
If we're going to get back to quality instead of quantity. But as for the show is great. I mean, that's Tuesday's the night that we get excited to talk and be nerdy.
All right. And speaking of episodes, you had shared with me that there's an episode I absolutely need to watch, which is our topic for tonight. I'm already watching your blood pressure go up a little bit here. But can you just give the audience a quick Cliff Notes version of what you discussed on that show?
So for many who may or may not know, my favorite Spider-Man villain is Kraven the Hunter. There is supposedly a movie coming out this year that I know is going to be, how can I put it delicately, a shit show.
Yep.
And I want to like it. And I watched the 30-second trailer today, or 90-second trailer. And then I actually was telling John before the show, I said, honestly, I listened to the trailer and I kind of got excited. Then realization is that it's not real. And the voice of I'm Kraven the Hunter is from like the 1996-94 Spider-Man show. And I know that's not what I'm going to get.
So in this episode, just so you guys know, what sparked this roundup tonight was Alex had shared with me that he went off on Kraven on his episode, and Alex gets a little spicy sometimes on Wednesday Comics, so I'm like, I've got to check this out because it cracks me up. But we will have you back to do like a formal full movie review. But I wanted to just talk about that teaser trailer tonight. This is legit Marvel greatness on YouTube, right? Right? Sure.
Something like that.
So with that tonight, my activity that I had in mind was Kraven likes to hunt, right? And so we're gonna take that 90-second decoupage of things, and what I want you to do, Alex, is I want you to be Kraven, and I want you to hunt for 3 compliments about that trailer.
I'm not making promises, John.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
Okay. Do you want me to tell? My first compliment is they got the voice for the 1994 show.
That's a great compliment.
I'm,
All right.
I'm Kraven. Okay. I would say, I guess I could see the main actor. Was it Aaron Taylor something?
Quicksilver.
Yeah, I could see Quicksilver.
Yeah.
If they got him beefed up enough and put on the right, spandexy leopard pants and the sweet lion vest with a beard.
I want one.
I would give that a compliment if that happens. So before I even see the real trailer, I'll give that a compliment. We got a guy who almost looks like Kraven. And I will admit, you get to see a guy tackle a leopard in the trailer. That's my third.
Ooh, okay. All right. I'll accept those. How difficult was this experience for you, Alex?
To be super tough. I mean, not the toughest thing in the world I've ever had to do. I watched the Michael Bay Turtles movies.
Oh.
They were shit. So,
Oh my gosh. All right. So with that, the 90-second teaser trailer obviously isn't real. It's not great, and it's recycled footage and audio and everything else. But what do we know about the movie, and what do you foresee being a strong suit for it? Like,
that's I don't know. The sad thing is that they live in the world with Morbius, which I have not seen,
okay,
and the two other Venom movies that they have the power and the skill to actually make a good movie. I know that they have said that Rhino is going to be the bad guy, or at least be in it. That is interesting, except for the fact that I was told that he's going to be the mutant looking kind of Rhino. So it's not even like it's Rhino in the sweet armored suit.
right.
It is a mutated. I don't even know if it's Alexi being Rhino or if it is a Rhino that got turned into a mutant human. So that could be a really big letdown, or if it's done correctly, could be really interesting.
Right.
Along with that, if they bring in other characters that are animal based that maybe have not been in the MCU, that could be really well done. Could be interesting. Doing kind of like what they did with Ryan Spencer's run of Hunted, where Craven goes to Central Park and is hunting other animal based people, whether superheroes or villains, what have you. That would be interesting. Again, I don't think that's going to be it. And if Sony listened to any of my suggestions, you get Joe Manganiello as Papa Craven.
Okay.
That if he shows up even for a moment, the movie's gold. If he doesn't, I'm not going to be pretty excited.
So, you are incredibly well versed with Craven the Hunter, right? So a lot of us are like, yeah, we saw him in the Spidey cartoon. He was in the recent Judgment Day event, bathing in the blood of a polar bear, which was incredibly badass. So that was neat. But what?
That he's bathing in the blood of the polar bear, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
yeah,
Craven
it was crazy. So, how did you get clued into Craven? Like, what drew you to him, or how did you encounter him?
So the ironic thing, I mean, it was Spider-Man. I watched the cartoons of Spider-Man when I was a child.
Sure.
Still, when he shows up in those episodes, I am super stoked.
Mm.
The ironic thing is that I don't hunt in real life. I don't want to hunt in real life, but a lot of my favorite villains are hunters. Craven or Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, Clayton from the Tarzan from Disney. That's what I do in a lot of games. When I played Red Dead Redemption, I was a poacher essentially in that game, killed everything that lived and breathed. I don't even know what it is that I like so much about him, because even Craven himself, depending on what world you're in, the Ultimate Universe one, he is an actor who has no way to fight Spider-Man and gets an uppercut to the face and is taken out. Or if you've watched the Spectacular Spider-Man show, he gets turned into like a mutant lion man. He's just one of those characters that I think is much like Rhino, underused, and when he is used, it's not to his full potential. They want to make him be this wild man when he's actually well thought out and methodical.
Sure.
And that's what I would like to see. He doesn't need to be a savage. He needs to be a hunter, quiet and sneaky, setting traps.
Yep.
There's not, I mean, Spider-Man should be taken out more often than he is by Craven.
If I recall correctly, from like one of the 90s trading card sets for Spider-Man, wasn't there like a Calypso, like his daughter kind of character too, that had a similar vest and, you know,
yeah, so
something like that. I don't know if her name was Calypso.
He's got a daughter, because he does Craven's first hunt is also his daughter's first hunt when she hunts Daredevil and Spider-Man.
Oh, interesting.
And, I gotta think what her name was from the cartoon, because he calls her Calypso, and that's actually his wife in the show.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, there's a lot of different probably versions as well, and maybe other lores that I am not as attuned to. I mean, when the guys and I read on Wednesday Comics, we read Craven's Last Hunt. I would be the first to tell you I hated that book.
That was the new one that just came out recently.
No, that was the old one.
The original. Okay.
Yeah,
Did you read this new one too?
No.
Okay.
No. As much as I like Craven, when I saw that, and even Garrett told me, he goes, "It's not worth your time." I mean, I want to read all Craven. And who knows? With Free Comic Book Day coming up this week, I may go pick them up.
Good product placement there. I like it. Couldn't have staged it better, Alex. You walked right into that one. I'm just kidding.
Just right there for you.
Chef's cast. All right. Well, that's cool. I'm gonna turn the table here to Mr. Mark. Mark, what has your experience been with Kraven, the Hunter?
Kind of like when you mentioned that about the Marvel cards. I think that was probably my first introduction to him, and the Spider-Man cartoon from back in the '90s as well. That's really it, though. Just those cards. I remember just collecting those cards. Of course, he's popped up in Amazing Spider-Man in recent years since I've been more of a reader, and I've read that. I've never went back and read like Kraven's Last Hunt and those classic comics. But no, Alex, you saying you didn't care for the that run, but I've always heard that held in really high esteem.
Yeah, I think part of that, if you read it, as I'm a more current reader, it's not. I didn't grow up reading comic books, that I don't hold it as a special place. Where had I read it even 15 years ago, it may have held to a higher note. But Grim Hunt came out, or Hunted has come out. Other things that he has shown up in, for me, they have outdone what Last Hunt could have done.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
He appeared, and I know some people hate this run of Marvel comics, but I thought Squirrel Girl was actually a really good Marvel comic, and he appeared in a Squirrel Girl comic, and it was hilarious. I don't know if y'all read any of the Squirrel
I do
Girl
remember that, actually. Yeah.
Really
I was just kind of like, what is going on here? Taylor from the Lincoln Rainbow Store is joining us, saying Last Hunt sucks. But she also headlined Kraven is overrated, so it's getting spicy.
Whoa.
Taylor, see, what happens is I'll send her a join link and she won't do it. But Alex
I was so taken aback by that Kraven overrated attack. I just dropped my phone.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. But that it's interesting. And so to your point, I'll be curious to see how the movie performs. I had similar thoughts about Morbius, right? I'm really passionate about the character. Got like 8 million Funkos hanging out here of him. But the movie had some downfalls. But I blame really just the story, the writing. So lol, I won't join. You're right. God, Taylor, get with it. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think that I'll be curious to see that rendition of Rhino, and I think that's what I'm most curious about, to be honest with you, because the last time we saw him was in that mech suit, which everyone was like, "Okay," you know. So we'll see. I don't know if there's any.
Did you ever play the Amazing Spider-Man 1 game for PlayStation 3?
Nope.
Because that's the kind of, they had Scorpion and they had Rhino, and that's what they were. They were genetically modified humans with Rhino and Scorpion DNA.
No.
And they looked like shit.
Yeah, no thanks. Hard pass.
So that might be what you're getting.
Oh, no. What do you mean I'm getting? You're going to see it too.
I'm going to go see it. We've even talked about it at the shop. We have talked about it on my show, or on our show on Wednesday Comics, that John will be joining us.
Yes. For the review episode. I have to be there.
I can guarantee you it's going to be fiery.
Gonna be spicy, and I'm here for it. Taylor's weighing in, saying that game is so good. Wait, no, I like the villain designs in that game. Taylor, are you sure you don't want to be on here? Because you're not, I don't know, you and Alex are not on the same page. I don't know, man. But yeah, well, that's Kraven. That's Kraven in a nutshell, you guys. So we got that movie. We'll see how it goes coming up. But I had another question that just came to mind, and new phone, it is. Stop, Taylor. I had another question that came to mind with you, Alex. You are arguably one of the most passionate people about the Ninja Turtles that I've ever seen at the shop. In that, Alex not only gets the main cover, he's like getting all the covers. Like, he is on it. Every single Turtles that he can. So, Alex, my question for you, because I was wondering this the other day as I was filing Turtles, how has the series held up for you in terms of quality of story arc, art? Are you super duper happy with it? How, because you've been reading for a while, I would imagine, with Turtles.
So I have stayed on it since the beginning of 2011 when the first came out. The first 100 issues were phenomenal. And then when Shredder became a good guy and understood what Splinter was trying to show him, and becoming friends with the Turtles, which I respect to an extent, but that doesn't feel like Turtles.
Yeah.
And after the mutant bomb went off after issue 100, they've been in that zone now for almost 40 issues.
Yep.
It's gotten stale.
Yeah.
They need to move on.
Yeah.
And I am not one to hate on Jenica, the newest fifth turtle, but she doesn't need to be here anymore.
Bye, Jenica. Boom.
It's one of those things. She doesn't add anything extra to the team. You've already got your hothead, you got your leader, you got your smart one, you got your dope.
Oof.
She is someone who was a bad guy, wants to be good, and I again respect that. But they're doing the same. They're recycling with Shredder. I need something new, and with the Armageddon game that has been going on, I also expect that to be a way bigger thing than what it truly has become. Okay. It is a lot of exposition and a lot of chit chat that doesn't need to be had. It does not need to be in 5 books.
Sure.
So I like it still, and I will not drop it, but I definitely need to see an escalation in writing and storytelling. Because same with like the last run, and when that was coming out, the first 3 issues were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then we got to 4 and 5, and I was like, what's the point? We know what's going to happen. There's no stakes at hand, and that's what I want. I want to know that when I'm reading a book, I can't anticipate what's going to happen. Yeah. I want deaths to be a surprise. That's what Image does so well, is that they put out a book, and guess what? You can kill someone off that first issue who was truly important, and have to figure out a different way to tell the story.
Yeah. Catching up really quick here, we had a really cool note come through from Casey Kelderman. Shout out to Screams from the Basement podcast, first of all. Casey is definitely a longtime friend of our show here at A Comic Book Look, as well as Wednesday Comics. So what do we know about that guy, right? But he says, hey, guys, I'll be honest. I'm more excited for bad Sony Spider-Man movies that don't feature Spider-Man than MCU projects these days. So, Casey, it sounds like Screams from the Basement needs to have another countdown. I've told you this, and you need to invite our collective shows on there because that was fun. It was fun. Yeah. Actually, put Alex and I on a team, and we'll school everybody else. It'll be fine.
Show everyone how it's done.
That'd be great. Show everyone how it's done. Bouncing off of that, though, there's all these side series coming out right now. So we have Turtles with Power Rangers. We have Turtles hanging out with Usagi Yojimbo. How are those for you? And as a reader, do you dig everything Turtles? Is that what your jam is? Okay.
If the thing that all the Turtles stuff is currently going on does eventually tie into the ongoing book, all the side stories, all the micros, all that jazz does eventually get referenced later on in the series, which is interesting.
What?
I know starting in May, they go up against the Street Fighter group.
Okay.
And I'm excited for that a little bit, but it is a lot of Turtle Mania going on, and they get to go a lot of places. It's kind of like getting to Batman or Wolverine, where there are almost too many places, which as a fan is great, but as someone who's also very analytical about a lot of shit, it gets tedious.
Yeah.
Really tedious.
Yeah. Man. All right. Well, I trust that you'll give them a pep talk, keep them in line, go from there. The next topic or question I had tonight is for all of us. Alex and I had a really light conversation, Mark, before you hopped on, about the state of affairs with our reading. So my question is very simply put, how are comics and you doing? And Mark, we'll start with you. How are you doing on your reading and your filing and all of that?
I think you froze up on me. You should kick in here in a second.
Oh, did I? Uh-oh. Alex,
right, I can hear you. All right, you're back on now.
I'm back on now?
Freeze up every now and then. Yeah, I can see it good now.
I was asking you, how are comics and you doing? So how is your reading and your filing and all that?
Yeah, as far as like bagging and boarding comics and like stuff like that, ever since COVID, I've gotten really sloppy and just throwing stuff in boxes and putting them away. Before that, I was very good.
Right.
But as far as like reading goes this year, I'm staying on top of it. I am a little bit behind on certain weeks. What I've done to try to make sure I read everything and enjoy everything and don't get overwhelmed is I will take like this week's stack of comics and I'll put the receipt on top of it. And I've got them in rows of like what came out like the first week of March, second week of March. And then I just kind of mow them down like that. And then sometimes like on a new comic book day, I will read a few issues if it's like a new #1 or something that I can just jump directly into. But yeah, I'm staying current as much as possible with reading, loving a lot of stuff that I'm reading this year.
Yeah, heck yeah. That's awesome. All right, Alex, bring the truth. How are you in comics doing?
I told John before the show I have spent way more time playing video games than reading. I read what I have to for the Wednesday comic show. Sometimes I got to binge read a little bit. I was on vacation about a month ago, and I read about 40 books. Was feeling really, really good. And then I got back to work, and I put them on the wayside. So I am probably 500 issues shy from ever being caught up.
Okay.
And I'm also notorious for buying books and then not reading them. So I bought Turtles books last week, which we'll get caught up on because I do catch up on Turtles. But with that being said, I may not read it for another month before the end of the whole series or the Armageddon game has round up. So they're treating me. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I am trying to read some as needed.
All right.
What about you, John? How are you doing?
Well, I'm glad my camera is tilted up a little bit. That's just drop in the bucket of how I'm doing. Some of that is actually stuff I've read but I haven't filed. Others is for the Comics by Night show I got coming up with all the scary stuff. And so I've entered into this vortex of complete chaos and despair. I've actually reduced the comics that I'm buying because of that, because I don't really have a lot of bandwidth right now, and I don't want to have monitor high stacks of books. That's silly. So yeah, I'm doing okay. I did have an interesting mechanic get presented to me. I'm a competitive person, and so one of my friends, Sean, has a spreadsheet that he's doing where it's every single day of the year, and next to it in the next cell you type in the book that you read. Rinse, repeat. So if you read 7 comics, you can claim 7 days of reading an issue a day and just fill it up. The catch is that he's in May and I'm starting from January because I just got added to this last week. But I did read 9 issues in one morning and then another 7 the following morning. And I'm able to binge those 5-issue runs. Like I just did Sins of the Black Flamingo from Image Comics 1 through 5 that I've been sitting on, And so it's things like that. I read the Strange run when Cleo was Sorcerer Supreme instead of Stephen Strange, and I finished that off. So that was really nice. I'm a competitive person, so it's going to help me get stuff read, get it filed, and hopefully get organized at some point. But yeah, I'm exactly like both of you, where it's a game of time and energy. You get off work and it's like, I don't know. And for me, I bag and tape comics all day, every day, at work. And so I'm like, guess what I don't want to do when I get home? What I need to do, it sucks. So I'm at a double disadvantage there. But it'll get done. I mean, on the flip side, I've gotten really good at it where I just fly through it and I can watch TV or whatever and crush it. But so yeah, I would give myself a D- right now with where I'm at. Definitely opportunity to be better. But I will say when I get like a run of issues, I just crush it. Like I can sit in the morning, like I have this stack of Moon Knight, all of this new volume. I can just sit down and crush it probably in a morning, like 23 issues. So I'm really, really excited about that. Taylor's chiming in here. I'm pretty caught up, but a little behind because prepping for Free Comic Book Day. Taylor, come on, Free Comic Book Day. It's like you manage a store or something. Stop it. Also, my filing and organizing is top notch. Of course it is. Sounds like you guys aren't trying hard enough on your reading. She's calling us slackers. That's fair. No, Taylor manages our Lincoln, Nebraska Rainbow Comic Store. She's amazing human. And they work hard, play hard. So yeah. Shout out to the Lincoln store, by the way. But yeah, I literally had no other agenda tonight for that. We solved the world's problems and identifying positive things about the Kraven teaser trailer. So Alex, I'm so proud of you. I hope that you know that this is a star magnet on your fridge.
Well, it did kill a little of my soul to say those nice things. So.
Before we wrap up, though, are there any series that you guys want to lift up that you're digging? Or, Alex, are there any recommendations that Wednesday Comics have lifted up that people should be checking out?
So actually, right now we're reading Streets of Gotham, Batman Streets of Gotham. It is my book list for us this month. So we're 4 issues in. At the end of this week, we'll actually have been done with it. Been pretty good. That's part of what gets me excited, though, is that I bought that last year at Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
And to actually put the effort in to read this book, and especially when it's Dick Grayson being Batman, Dick and Damian's combination as Batman and Robin is very good. So if you're looking for a nice, fun run with a different kind of Batman, that's one to go for. Or if you read Gates of Gotham, that's also really good.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Mark, what are you digging?
Oh, I spoke about this briefly last week, but 8 Billion Genies just wrapped up. Phenomenal book. I highly recommend. I think the trade should be coming out here soon. It's only 8 issues, but it's everybody in the world. Well, 8 billion genies are given to 8 billion people, and everybody's granted one wish. And then obviously that's going to send the world into like different phases of chaos.
Hell yeah.
And it covers like a large span of time, like centuries. I think like 8 centuries worth of content, but like it shows it like a double page spread. That's basically what the world would look like if 8 billion people got one wish. It'd be pretty much like that right there. So
T-Rex in the background. I like
phenomenal.
that.
Yeah, phenomenal comic book though. Highly recommend.
I have the whole thing. That's part of my to read short box calamity. So I'll get that done some morning, I'm sure. Chug coffee and make wishes. It's fine. So the book I want to lift up, this is a bittersweet note here, you guys. This is from Ablaze, and we're talking about Animal Castle, Volume 2, Issue number 1. Volume 1 ended on such a brutal note where I was like, there's no way that we're ending on this note. And then I'm like, okay, but they're going to continue. It's fine. The other brutal reality to this book, and this is an insider thing, so don't tell anybody that I told you this, even though I'm broadcasting to my employer's page. This book came out New Comic Book Day. This book is also a free comic book day offering. So if you guys are at all interested in trying out this book and you want to not pay cover price, go to free comic book day and get the free comic book day version and give it a whirl. I think the timing on that is completely absurd. And so I just have to call it out because I've never seen that before, where it's a brand new book on the wall and then it's the same thing for free comic book. It's the silliest thing. Try it out though. I support this creative team though. It was a very well told story, a very powerful, very dark. So I highly recommend it. But if you guys are looking at what to choose for free comic book day, definitely consider Animal Castle. It's outstanding. So oh, Taylor weighing in here. Everyone needs to read Lovesick. Image title, amazing 7-issue series just wrapped up. If you liked Red Room, you should read Lovesick. That's right. Boom. Taylor, I feel like you need to be on the show again sometime. I'm just saying. Because it's so fun when she's on. But
you know what? I would be interested to have Taylor on the show when I come back on to talk about the Craven hatred that I have. So throwing the gauntlet out to her.
Yeah.
Be ready, because I'm going to come with guns blazing.
Okay, Taylor, you hear that? Oh man. This is really cool. Heather is a very good friend of mine from high school life out in California. So I haven't talked to Heather in a minute. Miss you. I have no knowledge of comics or what you're talking about, but my 9-year-old loves graphic novels and is an amazing reader. If I were to get him into a clean but fun comic series, what do you recommend? Alex, any turtle offerings that come to mind?
They do have that Turtles Adventures came out with the 2012 comic issues. That would probably be a safe one.
Yeah.
The art wouldn't be overdone. There wouldn't be very much blood. You also get into the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I mean, your son would be a little young to have that nostalgic feel that I would have had, but that's also a good safe one for the most part.
From my side, Heather, my recommendation would be Family. It's a title from Ablaze, which does the same book as Animal Castle, which is super dark, but this one is not. It's a title called Family Time, and it's literally about a family that goes on vacation and is transported back in time through like Irish magic. And it's really just fun. It's just a fun book. It's there's no colorful language, no gore or anything like that. It's just a fun title. So I definitely recommend checking out Family Time as the title from Ablaze Comics. Mark, what do you got?
Monster Fun. It's like an oversized issue. It's a kid's comic, but I love it because it's got like Frankenstein and Dracula and just your famous movie monsters in it. And then there's like little activities in it too. There's like mazes and crossword puzzles and stuff like that in there too, but it's just very lighthearted and just a lot of fun. So got werewolves and all kinds of just cool stuff. They do a lot of holiday themed issues, but I always pick these up.
That's cool. And yeah, along those lines too, with Mark, at least at our store, we have a dedicated section for kids comics. So there's gonna be your Sonic the Hedgehog, My Little Pony, which is incredibly popular. Um, gosh, what else? Power Rangers is not on the kid rack, but it's still fun. I mean, so it just depends on your comfort level as a parent, and just kind of gauge it on, what are you seeing on TV? What's being enjoyed right now? Because there's likely a comic book for that. So, yep. She's saying that's awesome. Thank you. One other recommendation, Heather: D&D Saturday Morning Adventures, and Turtles has one too, I believe.
Yeah,
Two for the Saturday morning. Batman Scooby Doo is another one that exists in the universe, so that is definitely worth looking into. Good call, Taylor. Awesome, Heather. It's so good to hear from you. Gosh, that made my day. Wow. Well, on that note, I guess that's all I had tonight, boys. Did you have anything else that you wanted to lift up?
I don't think so.
No, we're good. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is on the horizon. Looking forward to that. And seeing how that treats us. I'm going on Sunday, so keep it spoiler free, please. But looking forward to that. I'm going with a group of friends, so it'll be a good time.
And I mean, the biggest thing is free comic book day this week, so come on.
What was
Go
it?
wait in line. It's free comic book day this weekend. Come on. Go wait in line. Get your Mickey D's. Hang out with your friends.
There you go. Wait, you're telling me to wait in line?
No, I'm saying my friends aren't coming over, so someone else has to do it for me. Gosh.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, cool. With that, before we shut down, we always just like to learn, of course, where people can find you, Alex. Where can people find you online?
I'm on Twitter at the AP Keaton. You can find Wednesday Comics at Wednesday Comics on Twitter, or you can call 605-215-1849 is our phone number that no one ever uses, but you can call it there. You can go to WednesdayComics.com. That is the website. I'm sure we're on Spotify. Spotify is the big thing. So if you're wherever you get your podcast, Wednesday Comics is the one for you. And if you need any sweet swag, I think it's T-Pop, whatever. Go to T-Pop. Go to the website and they'll point you out where to go. That's Marvin's job. Marvin does all the good stuff like that. I literally just sit there and wait until we say something fun.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm impressed I do have that stuff.
Look who's popping in here. Garrett from Wednesday Comics. I'm sorry. Oh man.
I didn't actually tell the guys that I was coming on tonight, so be a surprise.
Garrett, good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Well, cool. Mark, where can people find you at?
Right here at Mark C. Shelton 1 on Twitter, and just Mark C. Shelton on all your social media.
Awesome. Well, cool. And of course, you guys, collectively, I am John on Demand on the Twitters and Instagrams, or at Sign a Comic Book Look. We are Comic Book Look, proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics. So if you're in the Sioux Falls area, say hi at 42nd Minnesota Avenue. And if you're in the Lincoln, Nebraska area, go ahead and say hi to Taylor as well and encourage her to hop on our show sometime, especially when Alex returns. That'll be very entertaining, muy entertaining. So just put in a word to the team there. And other than that, Garrett, one more time. Love you guys. Sad to miss you this weekend. Garrett, we miss you. We miss you, Boo Garrett. But I hope everyone has an excellent rest of your week in comics. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. Comments were on fire, and we love it. So we will stop bullying me. Taylor, I'm trying to wrap up the show. Come on. All right, I'm just kidding. We'll leave it up there. Anyways, I'm going to leave that up there. You guys have a great week in comics, and you guys know the drill as always. We keep it comics, but what do we do, Mark?
Back in your morning's never boring, and may the 4th be with you.
Ooh, that's tomorrow. Are you doing mind tricks on me?
Jedi mind trick.
I don't need a second beer. Okay. I got it. All right. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time, and have a good one. Thank you, Alex, for tuning in, and check out Wednesday Comics. Boy, buddies. And then I hit